Hello my friends, welcome back to my channel. My name is Stephanie Webb. I'm a cross-stitch designer. I get here to talk about cross-stitch and my fun, crafty life. Here in Indiana, we are experiencing a new phenomenon. It is called sunshine. We are not sure what to do, but we all feel better about our lives. In January, we had one full day of sunshine. So you can imagine why I'm so pale and how we were all feeling. But February, in contrast, has been absolutely lovely and full of vitamin D. Not that I go outside. Moving on. I am here for many purposes, both good and evil, but let's start with the first, which is the most important, showing you my springtime releases. Now that I'm all hopped up on vitamin D, I'm excited about these things that I created with the hope of sunshine, not stuck in a cave all winter. I'm going to start with the largest of the patterns. Although it is not terribly large, it was a major labor of love. I wrote this little poem about robins, and then I composed it, I think, 5 different configurations. I might have thrown away a few drafts that turned out quite horribly. Basically, I tried to design around this poem 5 times before I came up with anything that was remotely stitchable. But perseverance wins the day. This is Little Brown Bird, and it celebrates a lot of your favorite bird, which is the American robin. Although if you're British, you could easily the poem still applies. You could just change our little robins to make them look more like yours. It says, "Little brown bird with breast of red, fly back to me, for winter is dead." So this release celebrates, this poem celebrates my annual searching for that first American robin to fly back into the area because it signals spring. I actually created a little pattern that celebrates the same thing. It's a weather proverb, but here the American robins leave us and they fly back around mid-February. So technically winter isn't quite dead. They come a little bit earlier than the trees are blooming, but you will allow me this poetic license. This is stitched on 32 count Sea Spray linen by Seraphim Fabrics, which is a drum that I just keep beating because it is such a lovely mint. It's not just a mint, it also has some, it kind of looks sturdy-ish, but I like it. Yellow brownie spots on it. It just has a lot of character for a mint fabric. I love it. I put other things on this fabric, which I will pop onto the screen right now. I love the border. I used DMC and some Classic Colorworks. My favorite Classic Colorworks color, I think, of all time is Tennessee Red Clay. It's a killer, killer coral red. So that is Little Brown Bird, and thank you so much to Paige for stitching it quickly for me. Next up, a very anticipated bird of the season. This is Stellar's Jay, and he was the first release in my Bird Crush Club, which is now concluded. The Bird Crush Club lasted all year last year, so I have 12 birds that are coming out this year just as regular releases, so you can pick and choose which birds you would like if you weren't a part of the club. And a lot of people didn't jump on the bandwagon right away, so they missed Mr. Stellar's Jay. He also was one of my most popular birds. I get emails about him to this day, either because people missed him or they didn't hear about the Bird Crush Club until later in the year, and he's so absolutely wonderful that people have to email me. So if this is the first time you've heard of my Bird Crush Club, the patterns will be coming out throughout the year, but they are bird patterns that I created with the help of bird enthusiast Chris Gilbert, an excellent bird photographer. And here's what the patterns look like. On one side they have Chris's beautiful picture of the month's species, and then on the other side, a picture of the model that I used the photo to create. And then I put some limitations on the birds. I wanted them to all be the same size so that you could finish them similarly. So they all fit in a 6-inch circle. So if you would like to finish in a hoop or in these signed and numbered frames, which I got in a variety of colors for my 12 birds, they're all the same. They're all the same size. Also, they all have the name of the species and the pattern, and they all use one skein of Threadworks floss. I chose Threadworks because they said they could keep up with me. That's basically the only reason. And they did. They did an amazing job making sure I had my floss for the Bird Crush Club on time, and I really appreciate them as a company. They kept up with me with how much floss I needed and whatever color I was picking. So here, I don't know why I needed to bring up 10 skeins, but here is, for example, the Stellar's J Flossworks color. The rest is all DMC, and you get a nice clear pattern in the middle. I'm also going to have some species postcards. These also were part of the club. I'm going to order more just in case somebody would enjoy them. They have another one of Chris's photos of the same species on one side, and then they have Chris's field notes about the species on the other side, and they're very enjoyable. They contain information about the bird as well as cute little details that Chris includes about catching this species in the wild. So those are fun. There's Chris. Yay rah shish kamba. That is Stellar's J. If you would like the lineup of when the other 12 birds are coming out, they are not coming out regularly. So for instance, in a month, I'm going to release 2 at one time. If you're looking for a specific bird that you caught on social media from the club, the schedule is on my website. I will link that down below. Related to the Bird Crush Club is this pattern, which I created as a celebration of finishing the club and getting through 12 bird species. This is Armchair Ornithologist. And I love this, not only because I love a good cut through house, but also because I managed to fit all 12 of the Bird Crush Club birds in it. And it reminds me 1000% of the find these things in a picture puzzles that I used to get as a kid in Highlights magazine. Did anyone else grow up on Highlights magazine? We got it for a long time, and that was always my favorite part, is to go to the puzzle where you find things in the picture. So they're not necessarily hidden like a picture puzzle, but there are 12 bird species in here. So here's the Stellar's J, and the other 12 are also included. I'm an armchair ornithologist. I am probably never going to be out with a 700-pound camera like Chris, but I made this pattern to celebrate the fact that I still love birds and I love seeing them and learning about them. Not that I want to go outside, right? So that's a fun pattern. It's just stitched in all DMC on flax linen, and it fits in an 8x10 frame. So that's fun. And we have a lighting change because I somehow deleted the clip of showing you this pattern. So last year I did a 4-part series called Cats in the Garden, all cats of different colorations, celebrating the 4 seasons with some seasonal blooms. This year we're going to do dogs in the garden. So same concept, dogs enjoying the seasons with some flowers in the background. They all fit into a 5x7 frame. Here is the spring installment, and it is called Frolicking in the Daffodils. And it features a poodle with the zoomies in the yard, zooming around the spring yard, and there's some daffodils in the background. So all 4 of these will be the same size, and I use 3 weeks dye works in each pattern just to give it a little bit of variety and depth in the color. I think this one's adorable. There's nothing as lovely as a happy dog zooming around the yard. I love how his ear and his collar is flying back behind him. So Frolicking in the Daffodils, and there will be 3 more dogs in the garden throughout this year. My last I am terribly excited about. I'm starting a new series that, again, I'm not sorry. It's going to be bird stamps in particular, and this one is going to coordinate with the months. So the Bird Crush Club has 12 birds in it, but they're not like coordinated to the month they came out necessarily. I just wanted to be true to the species. This series is going to be a little bit more interpretive. It is called Airmail, and I just have to show you the logo that I drew for this because I love it. Here's the Airmail logo. I love how I was able to write Plymouth, Indiana on the outside of that circle. So March is going to be the first. I'm going to come out with a scattering throughout this year and then some more throughout next year, but each bird is going to coordinate to the month it comes out, and they're all going to be a bit stylized. Now, I already got called out on this, even on a preview, saying, wow, you were really inspired by Elizabeth Isles, weren't you? Yes, I was. Here's a picture of Elizabeth Isles. So this style of bird is called a geode bird because its wing looks like a geode. There are other examples of geode birds in historical samplers. I don't know the history behind them. There's not like a terrible amount of examples of geode birds, but I've always thought they were so cool looking. Wanted to come out with my own geode bird series because they're fun. And let me tell you, stitching that wing of like concentric circles is so satisfying. So here is March, Airmail #1, bird stamp. And this is the Oriental Turtle Dove. This bird has so many great colors in it. I really loved stitching this. Stitched this myself with some DMC and some beautiful Weeks dye works. These are Envy and Paris green. So beautiful. I just love how these colors go together, and I love the finish. I'm really thinking about having someone stitch a model of all 12 together because I think they would look so cool lined up like real stamps. But I finished this with some Lady Dot Creates velveteen and some rickrack on the edge and some pom-poms on top of that, which is very simple to do, but I just love how it coordinates with the shape of the outside of a stamp. So fun. They're all going to be the same size and equally as whimsical as the Oriental Turtle Dove. So this is, I'm so excited about this. I'm so excited how the pattern turned out. I just think it looks so fun. Look at that. I mean, I don't want to brag, but Steph, man, your formatting, I'm stepping up my game. So good. So good. So I have to show you this. Those were all my new releases, but I wanted to show you this historical artifact that goes with my Airmail series. So this is something that I've thought about getting rid of many, many times because it doesn't mean a terrible, like I'm not sentimental about it, and I know maybe somebody would find something of value in here, but when I was 12, I decided for a very brief period I was going to collect stamps, and this is my stamp album. And this is what I was able to use for the backdrop of my Airmail series. I was looking for, like, I was on the computer Googling old letters. Like, I'm gonna buy some old letters so I can put them in the background. And I was like, well, actually, it'd be nice if I had some old stamps. And then I almost typed it in and I was like, wait a minute. I have old stamps, and went down and rummaged this bad boy up. Okay, if you're an actual stamp collector, You might want to fast forward through this. I was 12. I did not know how to collect stamps. Because this is what I did. Oh, there's like things that are going to fall out, but that's okay. This is what I did. I just glued them. I glued them to this craft paper in the album. Look. 1993. Oh, that means I was 11. The younger I can claim to be for doing this, the better. But I categorized them. You can see this is USA with an exclamation point. And then as I got older, I think I kind of figured out, I don't think I should be gluing these to the page. Like, what if they're valuable? So then I came up with this system of sticking them in vellum, which I think is a way better option. But I have some interesting stuff in here. I don't know. Some of this has to be worth something. I absolutely love this Churchill stamp for 5 cents. I don't know. Kind of reinvigorated my passion. Here's some trains, some sort of map. Okay. I don't know. I don't know what I was doing. Some of these have to be worth something. In 1994, Mom gave me these lunar landing stamps. There's just like stuff everywhere, and then I think my mom allowed me to buy some like vintage packets of stamps from Mystic Stamp Co. in Camden, New York. Anyway, so I was glad that I hadn't sold these off. I think it's funny. Don't you think it's amusing to see what your handwriting looked like when you were like 11? So that's my journey into stamp collecting, which lasted only a few years and didn't get very far. So in my quest to give away 23 things in 2023, I am going to put the name of the Stitch Passport cover on the screen. Congratulations. I will also reply to your comment. You can email me. Yay. I would like to give away a copy of each of my new releases. You will win all 5 patterns. And all you have to do down below is tell me something that you're proud of. Tell me some of your recent wins. And it can be something small, it can be something big. A win is a win, and I celebrate them all and pat you on the back, and I can't wait to read them because I think reading other people's wins, little life victories for the day, is so encouraging. My sister and I got into the habit of asking each other for recent wins, and it's a really nice way of checking in on somebody and also focusing on the positive and being an encourager. So I not only challenge you to tell me your recent wins, text a friend, ask them for their recent wins, and give yourself that moment to encourage them. I think it's a great practice. This is your reminder to hydrate, because remember your New Year's resolutions and you said you would. Let us partake together. Oh yeah, I got a straw lid. because I was tired of spilling water all over myself. The key was not to become less of a klutz, because at certain ages you just stop trying for certain areas of self-improvement. All right, I have a finish that I would like to show you, and it's cute as a button, and I have one lonely whip. And then we'll just talk about fun stuff. All right, so my finish is Folk House by Not Forgotten Farm. This is the cutest thing I've ever made. I decided to take a little bit of inspiration from the chosen colors, but mostly went for my own. And this is how it turns out. You know I customized those cats. That's not the cutest thing I ever saw. Oh. Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. So there's me in my dress and my broom and my cats, which are that big, and one of them is that fat. So this is Mint by Picture This Plus. Not Picture This Plus. This is Mint by Color and Cotton. And I mostly use DMC. And two of my favorite silks, which I will talk to you about now. Because, let me tell you, if you're a teal person, blue spruce. Wow, I am just like a one-note wonder. Blue spruce is just the most beautiful teal blue imaginable. And look at this brown and how it works up. It's real, to me, brown is just one of those things where I'm always searching for a good variegated brown. One that I really like the tones of. This, my friends, is the perfect brown. The cat is worked up in the same color, but look at it. The urn is also, I mean, it's not just the same tone, lightened and darkened. It has a little bit of purple, has a little bit of olive, has a little bit of hazelnut. I just think it's so darn interesting. It is Silk and Colors Chocolate Caramel. Tell me that is not so cool. I originally got it in the Silk and Color, the Thread Gatherer Etsy store. She will every now and then put up like a scrap bag, and you don't really know what you're getting. You just get it and you wind it onto bobbins. And I was so glad I figured out that sample that I got was this color, because this is going to be used again. Now that I've gone on too long about that, let me show you Cooper by Kathy Barrick is looking fine. This is what he looks like. I did brighten his colors. I'm kind of regretting it, to be honest, because I don't know that I necessarily improved the bird, and I tend to overthink. So I think I should have just done the charted colors. What's wrong with me? You think you can do it better than Kathy Barrick? Here's Cooper with a needle through his neck. So here we go. I'm working down his tail, and then I need to do his branch. And I think I'm gonna go ahead with my plan of doing two birds, because I found a nice square frame from the thrift store yesterday, which I think will be perfect for Mr. Cooper and a pal. So I think my plan is to mirror the bird, but also cut off a little bit of the branch just to make sure they fit in that frame. So the branch will go down a little and then up back again. And another bird. He's so handsome. I'm doing this on Old Stationery by Seraphim Fabrics, and this is one of those chameleon colors. It looks tan, but then in certain lights it looks pink. I don't mind it. It's good stuff. Welcome to the friendship portion of this video, where we just have a friendly chat about life stuff, good and bad. And if you're not interested in that, you just wanted to see the stitching, I thank you for stopping by to see my pretty things. I hope that you will leave me your wins down below and maybe like and subscribe. That would be awesome. January was a doozy. I didn't realize how hard January was until I looked at the monthly view, and in my planner, I, for whatever reason, decided to use that monthly view to like write down things that happened that were like really good, really bad, things I had to deal with throughout the month. And it was quite the month. When I looked back, it was like, oh, no wonder. No wonder I'm feeling like life is hard. I had 2 bodily injuries. I sprained my wrist going ice skating with my son, and then a week and a half later, I pulled a muscle in my back walking across the garage. Both of those things required some intervention. It wasn't just like, give it a few days and you'll feel better. Had some car problems. One of our cars was out of commission, head gasket leaking, expensive problem. So we had to get everyone where they needed to be. It was a giant Tetris problem with one car between us. It was like we're constantly having to drive and drop and bring back. I had a kid. I have a kid with a medical problem that is concerning. It's just been a lot. It's been a lot. Which is why I was not able to complete my BurbFest 2023 challenge. However, I did get through 15 birds. This was a drawing challenge that I was trying to do in January and ended up having to forsake. But I will put the birds I haven't shown you yet up on the screen for you to see. I really enjoyed this challenge. I was proud of the work I was doing. It was a little discouraging to realize I was spending about an hour, sometimes over an hour, per drawing. And I don't know why, but I pulled up Procreate to draw bird number 16 and I just could not do it. And thereafter, I just decided I was done and I was going to spend my time other ways. But I'm glad I did it. Maybe next year I will be able to do more than 15 birds. Maybe not. I tried to just decide I was going to be nice to myself and let myself quit. So my 23 things to do 23 times in 2023 graph is going pretty good. Here's where I'm at with my different things I've decided to do, which doesn't look like much, but if you do the math, I'm pretty much on track. This one that doesn't have any squares is patterns released, so that one's going to go up. I haven't filled it in yet, but it's going well. I am enjoying all the things I've decided to do. Funnily enough, my highest category as of this filming is new recipes tried, which I thought would be a stretch, but there for a while in January I was really enjoying trying new recipes. Really the only winners out of those 5 recipes that I would make again are crunchy barbecue tacos. We'll leave the link down below. They were delicious. And an Indian vegetable curry that I made for my daughter and I. No one else in this house will eat curry, much to my dismay. That was delicious. I tried another recipe that was gross. Another recipe that took like 45 minutes of whipping things by hand, making homemade custard that turned out to be dry and not good. And then I also made a chewy oatmeal raisin cookie that was delicious, but no one in this house gets excited for oatmeal raisin cookies. It's like chocolate, or why did you bother making this? Everyone seemed to enjoy the book chatter last time. I finished The Other Bennett Sister, this novel that's written about Mary Bennett, the fuddy-duddy partial comic relief of Pride and Prejudice. This book was only okay, which makes me kind of regret like telling you about it. No, it does not sound like Jane Austen after the first 5 pages, and Mary is not a happy character. So it was okay. I don't know. I wouldn't read it again. I don't regret reading it, but it was okay. It was like Mary's glow up. But the first half of the book, and the book is pretty long, the first half of the book is where, she's not happy. And she's not happy because she has bad parents and sisters that don't want to be with her, don't understand her. So it's kind of depressing. A couple weeks ago, I got to enjoy being the featured designer for the Acorns and Threads Acorns Gathering, which happens every January. I got to be on the Zoom portion of the retreat. It was super fun. I about died when I opened my package, and this was the bingo card with Walter in the middle of it. I don't suppose anyone cared that a picture of my cat sitting in a recliner was in the middle of the bingo card, but Janine, if you're watching this, I mean, you made my day. I hung it up on my wall. It was really fun to be a part of that retreat. I sometimes struggle with Zoom, but I felt like we were having a nice conversation, and it was really enjoyable to be with the people on the Zoom feed. We were just talking all things stitching and what we were excited about, and different products we like. I don't know. I had a great time, and I was thankful to be invited. So I have 2 weeks before the Nashville Needlework Market, where I'll be taking all of these new releases and some of my older stuff and making a beautiful display at the market, enjoying being with my business friends and associates and the shop owners, and eating up the inspiration that is going to market. I'm really looking forward to that, and I think I look forward to being with the people more each year. It's just really a blessing, so I'm excited to participate in that soon. I think that's all my updates. I am reading some really good books right now, but I think I want to wait to see how they play out, because I would hate to recommend a book that all of a sudden just does something really disagreeable, I tell you it's so good and you go read it, and then the family eats the dog or something, and then I'm like, oops, this was terrible. So I'm having a hard time wrapping this up. I hope you're having a wonderful February. May you be blessed in your crafting and your stitching and your friendships, both near and far. Thanks for joining me. I will talk to you later. Bye.